There comes a moment in every man's life when the mirror refuses to lie. You stand there face to face with the reflection of wasted potential, of quiet waiting, of endless some days, whispered to yourself like a lullaby that numbs you back into inaction. The world doesn't owe you a thing, but it's been quietly holding its breath, wondering when you'll wake up, wondering when you'll finally become the person you were born to be, and the truth, no one's coming. No rescuer, no secret shortcut, no miraculous breakthrough. You must stop waiting and start becoming, because every second you delay, the fire inside flickers. Every excuse you feed yourself is another nail in the coffin of who you could have been. Life doesn't sit still. It races forward like a freight train, and if you're not in the driver's seat, you're lying on the tracks. You think Edison waited? No. He failed forward through 10,000 nights, each one soaked in sweat, lit by the dim glow of obsession, driven by a belief so absolute it mocked impossibility. You think Lincoln waited for approval. No, he stared down loss, ridicule, and the abyss of depression, and still carved his name into the stone of history. Do you really believe the giants you admire were handed destiny on a velvet pillow? No, they became something by force, by faith, by fire, and so must you. There is a moment, and you know it, when the ache becomes unbearable, when the silence inside your spirit grows louder than the noise outside. That's not just discomfort. That's the soul's rebellion against your inaction. You were not built to wait. You were built to rise. You were not made to wander, indecisive and timid. You were born to burn with a purpose so clear it sets your breath ablaze. But clarity only comes when you stop entertaining confusion, and belief that doesn't arrive after you succeed. Belief precedes victory. Do you not understand? Everything you want begins in the unseen. It starts in the realm of becoming, not hoping, not dabbling, not talking. Becoming is a war. It demands you divorce comfort. It demands you bury the version of yourself that seeks validation before execution. It requires that you chase visions so wild, so vivid, that your current life looks pale by comparison. You can't drift into greatness. You don't stumble into purpose. You decide, you lock in. You look in the mirror and say, this ends here. I will no longer wait for ideal conditions. I will become the storm that moves the clouds. You want clarity. Then move. Motion births vision. Discipline sharpens it. Action reveals the path. No one has ever become a legend by thinking about it. They moved, they bled, they crawled, they fought blind until the light came. And when it came, it didn't arrive gently. It arrived because they demanded it through effort, through sacrifice, through the relentless pursuit of becoming. You sit there asking for a sign. You are the sign. The ache in your chest, the frustration in your gut, the late nights where you stare at the ceiling and feel the weight of wasted time, that is life calling you out. You don't need another book. You don't need another plan. You need to act with such force that doubt no longer recognizes you. Carnegie didn't wait for someone to anoint him. He educated himself in basements by candlelight. Ford didn't listen to the critics. He dared to build what no one else could see. Disney was laughed out of offices and told he lacked imagination. These men didn't ask the world for permission. They demanded transformation through the fire of belief and the hammer of discipline. So let's talk about discipline, the engine of becoming. Discipline is not punishment. It is the purest form of self-respect. It's waking up when it's inconvenient. It's doing the work even when no one sees it. It's refusing to negotiate with your weakness, and don't confuse discipline with motivation. Motivation is emotional, fleeting, weak when tested. Discipline is brutal, beautiful consistency. It's building yourself from the inside out, one decision, 1 hour, one promise kept at a time. There are no hacks for this. The world is full of people who dabble, who dip their toes into the pool of greatness, then retreat the second it gets cold, but the greats dive in, they drown their fear. They don't wait for certainty. They create it with every action, every failure, every drop of sweat. Do you understand? The life you want is already watching you. It's waiting for you to rise and match its level. You can't whisper your way into it. You roar, you charge, you become. The mind, when governed by belief, becomes a weapon sharper than any blade. But the mind, left undisciplined, is a prison. Which one are you living in? Are you commanding your thoughts, or are your thoughts commanding you? Are you filling your mind with visions that stretch your limits, or are you replaying the same fears like a broken record? If your thoughts were a movie, would you pay to watch it? Then change the script. You are not your past. You are not your failures. You are not your delay. You are what you decide to become, right now, this very breath. There is no secret to success. The only secret is that most won't do what it takes. They'll speak of dreams but live in delay. They'll fantasize about impact but bow to distraction. They'll crave change but fear discomfort. But becoming, the real kind, the irreversible kind, requires that you betray your former self. You must look that lesser version of you in the face and say, "You don't belong here any more." That is the rebirth. That is where transformation begins. Don't you dare confuse comfort with peace. They are not the same. Comfort is the cage. Peace is the result of living in alignment with your purpose. And purpose lives on the other side of pain. Every visionary, every innovator, every relentless warrior of success walked through that fire. Nelson Mandela endured 27 years in prison, not with bitterness, but with vision, not with rage, but with unshakable purpose, because he knew who he was becoming. His body was locked away, but his mind roamed free, building a new South Africa before the world ever saw it. That is the power of clarity. That is what happens when a man stops waiting and starts becoming. So the question is, what are you willing to sacrifice for the man you must become? Comfort, pride, ego. Distraction, because here's the truth no one tells you. Your future is jealous of your present. Every hour you waste, every excuse you tolerate, you rob your future self of power. You can't become by wishing. You become by letting go of the fake identities you've built for approval, letting go of the masks that keep you liked but never respected, letting go of the addiction to being understood. You weren't made to blend in. You were made to build, to create, to expand, to evolve beyond the shallow limits that this world has tried to assign you. There is a war between who you are and who you could be. And the only way to win is to choose, every day, every hour, to live like the man you were meant to become. Start speaking like him. Start walking like him. Start thinking like him. You do not become a king after the crown is placed on your head. You become a king by acting like one when you have nothing, when no one believes, when no one claps, when no one sees. That is when the real work begins. You don't rise when it's easy. You rise when it's time. And this is the time, the moment you decide to stop waiting. The world shifts, not because the world changes, but because you do. Suddenly, your eyes begin to recognize opportunities that were always there but hidden behind your fear. Your ears tune into possibilities instead of problems. Your spirit, once dulled by delay, ignites into motion. That is the moment you stop surviving and start creating. Creation is the purest form of becoming. Not merely producing things, but producing yourself, building character brick by brick, constructing vision with every choice, forging mental armor in the fire of adversity, because you will face resistance. The moment you start becoming, the world will test you. Doubts will whisper. Old habits will claw at your ankles like anchors. The people who once called you humble will now call you arrogant. The ones who once loved your mediocrity will resent your momentum. But let them. They are not architects of your destiny. They are echoes of your former limits. Let their doubt sharpen your discipline. Let their comfort remind you why you chose discomfort. Do you think the Wright brothers were cheered on when they tried to defy gravity? Do you think Muhammad Ali rose to greatness by following approval? They chose becoming over-belonging, and so must you, because what you tolerate in yourself becomes your prison. If you tolerate procrastination, you become its slave. If you tolerate fear, you become its shadow. If you tolerate small thinking, your future shrinks to match it. You can't become a lion with the habits of a sheep, so get brutal with yourself, ruthless with your time, unforgiving with your excuses. Your future is not waiting. It's counting on you. It needs you to show up, and you don't show up when the conditions are right. You show up because you said you would. You show up because the man you're becoming demands it. He is watching every move you make, every lie you tell, every discipline you abandon, every promise you break. He's waiting on the other side of effort, whispering, "Keep going, I'm here, just don't quit." You want to meet him. Then keep moving, because becoming isn't a moment. It's a process, a war waged silently, 1,000 small wins stacked in the dark, waking up early when no one claps, studying when others party, grinding when no one's watching, believing when results haven't caught up yet. That is where it happens, not on the stage, but in the shadows, not when the world sees you, but when you see yourself. And when you do, when you finally recognize that you were always meant for more, you'll realize something powerful. You were never waiting on life. Life was waiting on you.